good evening, everybody. It's the Cryptid Huntress. I'm Jessica Jones. Welcome into our Saturday night show. Man, it's so good to see you guys here. I have another fantastic show for us tonight. I have researcher and author ED Eric Testerman in the studio tonight, and we have some really interesting stuff to talk about, including some reports that he's taken out of the Midwest that involve werewolves and dogmen. Okay, so we're going to get into this tonight. All right, if you guys would like to follow along with all of my shows and everything I'm up to, you guys go to the cryptidhuntress.com. All of my shows are listed there, and all the events I'm going to be at are all there on that website. If you guys would like to support my work, you guys can go to Patreon. That's the Cryptid Huntress on Patreon. And shout out to all of my Patreon members. You guys are the best. Okay. And my channel members, you guys are the best as well. Oh my gosh. If anybody would like to become a member of my channel, just click the join button, and I put out exclusive content just for the channel members. And it's actually pretty cool and pretty funny. Okay. We have a great time over there. So thank you guys so much for all your support. And speaking of support, we got War Woman Goods over here on Etsy. That is my shop. And yes, I do put a little bit of free merch in with every purchase. So thank you guys for buying my jewelry and stuff that I sell over there. Okay, well, let's get into our show tonight, because I have Eric here in the studio. And he has a fantastic YouTube channel. It's called The Bizarre and the Unknown. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. He just put out this week a little clip about a report he had taken in Missouri, I believe. And I'm going to have him tell us about that tonight. And also, you can find him on the Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast. I love me some William. Oh my gosh. He and William do a weekend show that airs every Saturday and Sunday morning. So you guys check them out as well. Okay. Eric also is an author as well and writes books. So please help me welcome to the show, Eric Testerman. What's up, Eric?
Hey. Or I guess I can go, hey. Yeah, what's happening?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here. You and your little dog too.
Yeah, he's spoiled. He's got to be on the show now too. Every time he knows I'm going live, he's going nuts down here. So I got to put him in my lap. He goes, you all have to look at me. I am snow, and I must be seen. He doesn't like people but me, but yet he's got to be on the interweb all the time.
Oh, so he has no idea how famous he is. He has no clue.
I think he knows. I'm pretty sure he knows.
I think he knows.
He hears a certain sound. He's like, Daddy's going live. I am hopping in his lap. So,
I know. My dog will start barking too. Whenever I go live, my dog decides to bark. So I feel you. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been trying to record that uncut version that I did of the Terror of the Night, which is my werewolf short story that I did. And everybody's been wanting me to do uncut versions of my short stories. So it gets aggravating because I'll be sitting there recording and all of a sudden you hear him. I was like, oh, dude, I finally nailed this after 15 freaking times of retaking this. And you got to bark.
Oh, well, it's cute. It adds to the ambiance, man. It's okay. Yeah. We all have pets, so we all understand. Most of us have pets, for sure.
He's my buddy. He was my late mom's dog, and he didn't like nobody but me or her. So whenever she passed away, me and him help each other through some tough times.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what dogs are for. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Well, that makes you a dog man, right?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I guess it does. Yeah. I'm not the crazy cat lady. I'm the crazy dog guy.
Oh, I love it. Well, you have actually, so you have a fantastic YouTube channel, and I've been enjoying the content that you're putting out. And you recently this week had just released a report involving a local werewolf or a dogman. I would love to hear about that tonight. And tell me exactly where this was.
So I just got permission this morning to release the general location. I keep the man's information confidential. He does not want anything tied to him. I respect that. That's why I always tell everybody, if you send me your stories, you want to be anonymous, I'll keep you anonymous. I'm very big on that, in which I understand that his fear on that, because I've been doing with this stuff for many years, and I was always scared to talk about it because you got criticized. So that's why I'm very respectful. Anybody who sends me an encounter and I do a video on it, if they want to be anonymous, I'll keep that way. So I respect that. But I did get permission this morning to say where it is. Now, this is here in Missouri. Actually, not too awful far from me, in an area called Spring Rivers. Now, this encounter that was given to me by a brother, and this brother of mine had a similar encounter 50 years ago when he was a kid in the same area. So I'm working on details. I'll put another video out. This won't be a case number. The reason why this has got a case number attached to it, because I am getting ready to get set up to go down there to investigate this area where this incident had took place. So I just released case number 001, the Shaved Beaver Paranormal Investigation. I finally got everything out. It's on my YouTube channel. So that's case number 001. This is going to be case number 002. And this is where we're going to go down. We're going to check out this happen. So let me pull this up. I'm sorry, I've got the short stories up right now. Come on, mouse, do what I want. Oh, whoa, shrunk you. My mouse is doing whatever it wants to lately, and it's aggravating the tar out of me.
So, Eric, you actually don't live too far from our friend D.A. Roberts in Missouri, right? Do you guys ever meet up?
No. Yeah, he was with me on the case number 001, the Shaved Beaver Paranormal Investigation. It was him, his wife, and his son that did it with me. I invited them on that investigation, so they're in this. They're in that one as well. So, which paranormal investigations are a lot different than cryptid investigations, just like supernatural. I mean, that's like when you was on my show Sunday, which I appreciate the tar out of that. You know, we kind of talked about that. There's different ways you got to investigate something, and different approaches and different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to do that with every single thing. So when you do a paranormal investigation, that's going to be different than a supernatural investigation. When you do a cryptid investigation, that's going to be different than the supernatural or paranormal. You always got to have that in mind. So we got to attack this one a different way.
Well, different actually, it's also kind of similar too, though. Okay, so they're different, but it's also similar. Like, I take my ghost hunting equipment out to the field when I'm outside in the woods doing cryptid research, because we have like parts of like we have paranormal stuff that happens when we're out there. So it's interesting to see the similarities and the differences.
It can be. If I was to do that, I would not take my spirit box with me, because I'm worried about that high pitched frequency that comes off that spirit box when you're trying to tap into the white energy when you're getting paranormal. Because there's been several reports on cryptids with high pitched sounds like that, aggravates them or makes them leave. So if I was to do something, now the same equipment I would take out there would be my digital 360 recorder. My digital recorder, which attaches to my sound amplifier, so I can pick up sounds a lot better than you can with a naked ear. I have that all set up where it all straps together and hooks together, and I can record constantly. Unlike the 14 seconds that freaking thing does, I can record as long as my digital recorder has life to it, or I don't fill up the MP card. So that's how I've got that set up, which I love that aspect, because there's a lot of times I like to take that thing and set it on a stump and walk away and just let it catch things when I'm not around. So you ain't got my filter going into it. You know, I'm not polluting the sound with me. So there's a lot of times I like to, if I'm trying to catch something cryptid, I set that away from where I am to keep my human pollution out of the audio on that as much as possible. That's something I like to do. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of similar things you can do. I mean, you can take, but there's a lot of different stuff too. Like, I'm not going to take Velcro strips and put on a tree to catch hair follicles on a paranormal or supernatural investigation.
No, ghosts don't have hair. Ghosts usually don't have hair.
No, so, you know, I won't take that on a paranormal research, but on the cryptid research, I will, because I'll put that thing up roughly 6 foot, which is going to be out of the height of generally all except for a bear. It'll be out of the height, well, and a squirrel and a coon and a possum, but you know, something walking by, it's going to be out of the height of it unless it can climb a tree. So
Yeah.
generally, I'll have that about roughly 6 foot up in the air. Within 5 foot, a deer can still kind of get to it. 6 foot, it won't. So, I mean, that's what I like to do. So I've got all that out there. I've got other stuff I like to take too. So it's fun.
Yeah. Well, what all do you guys have out there in Missouri as far as cryptids go? Because I know you've got this report you're going to tell us about. There's a possible dogman. I mean, is this common to have dogman sightings out there where you are?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's Missouri is one of the hot spots for cryptids. It really is. I mean, you got to think. We got the Blue Man. We got Momo. We got Booger. We got Dogman. We got Werewolf. We got the Ozark Howler. We got the Wampus. I mean, we have, the list goes on and on and on. And that's just the cryptid side. That ain't the supernatural paranormal side to it either. That is just cryptid side. We've got a ton of stuff that's out here, you know.
Wow.
So yeah, it's and I mean, from my house is not even a quarter mile from my house is the Niagara River. And it's highly documented about the Bigfoot and the dogmen that travel up and down the Niagara River. And in fact of that, Missouri is known as a cave state for a reason. So the theory, if they're using caves to travel around, that stands to reason why Missouri is like a huge hotspot for cryptid activity because of all the caves. I mean, I don't even know the number of caves. We got thousands of caves in Missouri. I mean, just beyond belief.
Oh yeah. Well, there's one. Sorry, I was going to say there's also the deep underground military bases in Missouri as well. So
you got the Springfield Underground. You got one that's in Sparta, Missouri, Kansas City, and there's one outside of Marshfield. There's and I know there's some more that I'm not thinking of.
Yeah.
So there's actually an area in Sparta, Missouri that's marked military property, unauthorized people not allowed. And I used to go there when I was younger and never had anything to do, mess with me. I've been on that property when I was younger. They wasn't really active back then. But when I was there, when I was 30, I think I was around 36 or 38 was the last time I was there. We got ran off by military personnel and they had drones following us. You are not allowed in that area.
Ooh, top secret stuff, huh? Maybe it's for your protection.
Maybe, I was like, dude, I was still in the military back then. So I was like, no. So I was younger because I was still in the military back then. I left the military in 2012. So this had been 2010, 2011 timeframe when I was last there. And I was like, dude, I'm military personnel. I'm allowed on. I've got secret security. Used to have top secret clearance. So, I mean, I can go on here. I wasn't even allowed on that place.
Oh.
So
makes
I was
you wonder.
okay, what's going on? Well, I got a call from a friend of mine that lived down there. She goes, hey, I'm getting all these strange sounds and these vibrations out here on my place. I was like, and she started, she goes, I can hear a hum and it's like a continuous vibration. It's not like earthquake. It's just like a vibration. I said, that sounds like mining equipment is what that sounds like to me. I was like, okay, you're in their area. That's all tied to the Springfield Underground. That very well could be something they're doing down there. I said, I'll come down and check it out. So we went down there and I was like, oh yeah, I remember this place. Hell, I ain't been here in the Coons age. I said, this is an old military, property. She goes, oh yeah, it's pretty active now. I was like, it wasn't active when I was younger. Well, it's active now. And that's on out there. And when I was feeling the ground and I was kind of listening, I was like, dude, they're tunneling. Now, this is straight tunneling that they're doing. So, and this was before Jesse Body Ventura came out with his stuff on what was happening down there. And that's when I kind of laughed. I was like, yeah, I already knew that was happening, but he's putting it out. So, okay, good. You're popular. I'm not. I'm nobody. I'm just me.
No, this is something that's well known, actually, with a lot of, because I work with a lot of the different communities, like from paranormal community to the cryptid community to the secret space program. I've even done work with DA Roberts, actually, our buddy. Okay, DA had me do some remote viewing of there was an incident that he had at the Joe Bald rec area, the recreational area in Missouri. Yeah, well, he had that video where there looks like the Dogman or something in the background, and I was given the coordinates of that place, and I did some remote viewing of that night that he was there, and I was picking up on, okay, so this is how I got intermingled in the secret space program group, okay, is because I was picking up on secret space program in an underground facility there. And this some kind of connection to the secret space program in an underground facility. And whatever was watching him, and I actually wrote down the word watcher or watchers.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like there's something there that's kind of guarding the facility that they have there, is what I was picking up on. So go figure. I don't know. I think there's some kind of, I mean, if cryptids work with our military or with some kind of agency or on these bases or these secret facilities, I mean, I think they're doing it there, because I was picking up on it for sure.
I wouldn't doubt it. There's not too far from there in a place called Shell Knob, Missouri, which is along Table Rock Lake as well. And DA went down there one time because I was telling him about it, and someone else was too. Was the place I've been camping since I was knee high to, well, since I was born, I've been camping down here at this place. It's called Big Bay. And it's right off of Table Rock Lake in Shell Knob, Missouri. Now I can tell you from the many years I've been going to that thing before they shut it down. There's been weird stuff that happened because I fished, swam, and partied all different times of night down in that area. I love Big Bay Campground. I loved it. It was a primitive camping area, but they shut it down and said they can't reopen it because they don't have the money to upgrade the facility. Which, when I talked to that lady about it, I said, "You're full of crap." I said, "You can update that facility and make your money back that season, at the very worst, the season after. So don't give me that crap. You can't afford to upgrade that campground. You can upgrade it. There's something else, the reason why you closed this campground down." So now I guess DA said you can't even drive down to it anymore, which I was like, I've got a boat. I know exactly how to get there because I've drove my boat to that campground many a times. I love Big Bay. And but I've always knew there was a mysteriousness to Big Bay. And I was always drawn to that mysteriousness. I've heard things walking around behind me, between me and the campsite, multiple times. I couldn't see it. I've felt being watched in the woods behind me several times. I felt like I've been followed along the coves and stuff in my boat several times in Big Bay. So
you know how to get in there. You just got to get your boat out there, huh? Take your boat out.
I need to get my butt in gear and get my boat finished because I need to get because I told him I'd take him to that location, and there's another one he said you can only get to by boat. And I was like, I'll get my boat going. I've been busy with other stuff, trying to get an engine in my truck and everything else, and just haven't got around to get my boat finished back up, get put back together. But no, I'm going to be hitting some of them places up because that's what I look for. I need to. But there's so many places around that area that I used to love to take my boat because there wasn't a whole lot of human activity. It took a lot to get to these certain coves, and that's where I love to fish. So it was not uncommon for me to go down from my campground, get in my boat, and go all the way across the lake, where it was really hard for a human to get down there to go. And I'd catch great catfish from that area because not a whole lot. The only way to get to it is boat. So,
there's nobody fishing it. Yeah, there's nobody else fishing those holes. So you got a wide open lake right there, full of fish, fully stocked.
It wasn't until recently that I put things together. There's been several times late at night because I don't fish with a light on at night because the light casts a shadow, which the fish can pick up on that shadow and that light. So at nighttime, if I'm out on my boat, I don't have a light. It's mainly just the lights on my deck. That's it. So I've heard rocks and stuff thrown in the water all around me in that area several times. Well, I never put two and two together until one day when I was listening to DA talk about rock throwing and these other encounters. And I went, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but I guarantee you that's probably what the hell was going on with me because they probably wanted down that cove for the exact same reason I was down there.
Fishing.
Yeah.
Because you got to think that's their resource, right? So that's their resource, and you're actually kind of taking their resources. So they may not be too nice to you. They see how they're taking their fish.
Oh yeah, I've several times I've taken a stick and sharpened it and hardened it in the fire the night before, and I'd go down like right when the sun was coming up, because you'd have big old bass and cat literally right there at the bank, and I stick them in the head with that sharp stick and pull them out. I've done that several times.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not it would not be uncommon to think that a cryptid was doing the exact same thing. I
Yeah.
mean, literally, they're right there. I mean, within 6 inches of the bank and where the bank and the water meet is, you got these big old cats and this big old bass right there.
Is that
So
on government owned land?
it's owned by Army Corps Engineer. Table Rock's owned by
Hmm.
Army Corps Engineer. So
Go figure. Of course it is. Okay, a lot of these
and
cryptid
they're the
sightings
one.
are on
Mm,
federal or state or
mm,
county owned land. Almost all of
mm.
them. Seems like not
Well,
all
see,
of them, but a lot.
a lot of people don't realize when Table Rock was built, there was several towns that's under Table Rock Lake. They had actually moved to town because the government came in to create Table Rock Lake. So you go scuba diving that, you'll find like the original Shell Knob. You'll find like some other original towns that are under that lake. They flooded your graveyards, they flooded homes, they flooded towns to create that lake.
Okay, well, wait. So here in Georgia and in Tennessee and all over, especially, I don't know if this is just like a southern thing, it's a Midwest thing too. A lot of towns and stuff got flooded to make these lakes, like Lake Norris up in Tennessee, Lake Lanier down here in Georgia. And it is my belief, and I've had conversations with some good friends of mine about this. I mean, and it's not just my belief, like I think this, like we have newspaper articles and stuff of
Mm-hmm.
there being these lakes being put there potentially to cover up the real history of this land and the real history of what
LBL.
we have going on here. Yeah, even the LBL too. Well, at Lake Norris, there was an Egyptian settlement there, ancient
Mm-hmm.
Egyptian settlement. There
Mm-hmm.
were remnants of like ancient ruins of the Egyptian settlement there. Now, why on earth would they have covered that up, knowing that was there with the lake? Okay, and
Yeah.
those lands are the lakes are cursed. I mean, I know the Lake Lanier, the numbers of people who drown there are astronomical every year. It's crazy. There's movies
Just
about
think of
it.
all, oh yeah. Just think of all the paranormal activity it's around a man-made lake alone. I mean, there is tons of paranormal activity, and it stands to reason. If you flood out a graveyard, I mean, you've essentially covered up the remains of somebody. So I mean, the spiritual activity would be there. In some cases, yeah, they moved what they could find, but I guarantee you, just from word of mouth from the old timers when I was a young pup, they'll tell you no, there was a lot of graves that were not dug up and relocated. They're under that lake.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not, they didn't dig up all those. I mean, there's cemeteries, there's churches, there's homes. I mean, what is that movie?
Mhm.
Oh, brother, where art thou? Okay, that is
Oh
one
God,
of
I love that song.
that's such a great movie, right? And
I
they showed you there.
hand of constant sorrow. I
Yeah,
see trouble all my days. I love that song. Hell yeah,
I
dude.
do
Great
too.
movie.
It's a great movie, but they
Yeah.
show you in that movie how they flooded out whole towns and stuff during that. I mean, it's like the Depression era, basically. Okay, what 1920s and 30s, I guess. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm mighty suspicious as to those being, and I know some people will be like, well, no, they were put there. They had to. It's for power generation and all that kind of stuff. But there's also so
Mm-hmm.
much historical importance underneath those waters. Stuff of
There is a
our
yeah,
history. What is our true
yeah.
history? You know what I mean? And there's just such a connection with all of this in the cryptids
Mhm.
too. Okay, so the
Oh yeah,
paranormal and the cryptids.
yeah. And that's like what we talked about on my show Sundays. You got to know not just the history of the event, but the ancient history leading up to that event. Otherwise, you're never going to have the full story. Now, I'm
Yeah.
very big at learning history of that area. History of whatever subject it is. I'm big on that because if you learn that history, you learn what it is that you're investigating and the truth behind what you're investigating. Now, am I going to be the person to tell you that ancient history is that is it and blah blah? No, they recorded how they saw things and interpreted. I will give you that much. I mean, that much is true. There's also a lot that is very accurate as well. So you have to keep all that in mind when you're doing that kind of stuff. You have to. That's kind of like with this case here, man.
Tell me about the case.
Oh, that must be you.
Let's
I thought
talk
I heard
about
a
it.
train.
It's at my house.
Okay. I was like,
Sorry,
holy
I have
crap,
my
I
window
got a
open.
ghost train here now or something.
It's
Yeah,
over
I
here.
heard things.
It's
So,
over
I
here.
mean, this one here, case number 002 that I put out, I've got it as a possible Dogman or werewolf encounter. As of right now, just because of the story or the encounter that was given to me, kind of leans more towards either a werewolf or a wolf man. For a simple fact, neither one of the people remember seeing a tail on this thing. Which, if you listen to what we and William talked about the other day, and he'll tell you that, you know, a werewolf or a wolf man won't have a tail where a dog man will. So that's why this is labeled possible dog man or werewolf, because this very well could be an actual werewolf encounter and not what we call dog man. You know, which dog man's a fairly new term. I'll give you that. But this takes place in Spring Rivers down here in Missouri, the southern part of Missouri, southwest part of Missouri. You know, my friend goes, I had an interesting conversation with a friend of mine who lives near me. He doesn't want his name or address put out. And that's why, you know, like I said in my video, I will never give this man's location, name, or anything. I'm very big on respecting that. I'm very, very big on that. And what's like, you know, I told you backstage, I know this man's feelings because I was the same way for a very long time. People look down on you when you, oh yeah, I look into ghost and supernatural and cryptid stuff. You know, what's back in the days, it was like Momo or werewolf or something like that, which I didn't know the term of cryptid until, you know, that's a fairly recent term to me. It was always, yeah, werewolf, or when you're going up St. Joe's, Momo, down here, booger, you know. But he was walking his dogs in the woods by his house. And just around about dusk, his dog, which is a corgi and a bulldog mix, which that's a pretty impressive dog. Um, Lost my spot there. I got to talking. And they're pretty fearless, you know. He took hauling butt back to the house, and he was about 200 yards from his house when his dog freaked out and ran. He turned back to the house and realized he was obviously, the dog was terrified of whatever it was that he's seen. Wondering what his dog was scared of, he heard a stick break behind him. When he turned around, he said, he turned to see what made the noise. He said the creature was about 6 feet from him. So, I mean, you're up close and personal. I mean, that's within striking distance.
Yeah,
For
kicking
a
distance.
werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
For
and
me,
in that distance, yeah, that's up close. That's entering personal bubble space right there.
yeah, it
6
is
foot is
personal
very
space.
close. Yeah.
Dang.
He described it as 7 foot tall. His heels were high-rise heels on the back. Yeah, it was high-rise. So he had that typical, you know, what you hear a lot
Disagrade.
of the high-rise. Huh?
The
Yeah.
disagrade legs, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the term. Yes.
Yeah. Looks
His
like
knees were.
backwards knees. Yeah.
Yeah, backwards knees. Yeah, that's exactly what he described it as. He said it was covered in black and brown fur, like a brindle color, which is I've heard that in encounters a few times before. This ain't the first time I've ever came across a encounter or heard about the brindle color. He had no tail, canine head with broad shoulders. The creature was muscular, but very lean, approximately 2% body fat. He said it was nothing but pure freaking muscle.
Whoa.
And from head to toe, pure freaking muscle. He had light hair on the back of his ribs, like really thinned out hair, kind of like, how do you put it here? I'm going off worn hair. Most of his hair was around his mane, his shoulders, and his groin area. Was the largest amount of hair covered area on this thing's body. Extreme less slender hips and dog-like rear legs. He said the arms and hands were very long. They were long, too long to be like a normal humans. When whenever my friend asked him what he did, the guy got red faced and said, "Yeah," and goes, "I'm a little embarrassed to say I pissed my pants." When he looked and saw this thing, he said the beast ran off into the woods towards the creek. He said he ran to the house. His dog was under the porch and refused to come out. So my friend has said that he's had a lot of problems around his house lately. So his friend was carrying a 45 with him constantly. So he asked him, "Did you have your hog leg on you?" And he goes, "Yeah." But he goes, "I didn't remember it till I got back to the house." So that whole encounter, he had his hog leg on him, but he was so scared and so caught up in the moment that he forgot he had his hog leg on him. But that's pretty much the nitty gritty of it. He did go back out the next morning and look at that location. Said he didn't find no prints, but he found a lot of torn up grass in that area. I'm not talking to you. Hush up, Alexis. I forgot you.
Was it Alexis is talking? Oh no.
Yeah, I forgot she was on.
Did he mention that it was on two? Because he would have had to known it was on two legs if it was 7 feet tall. Did it run off on two legs?
He didn't say if it ran off. Let me. I don't want to lie to you. Let me get back into that part there. And canine but broader. The creature was muscular to venery. Worn hair back of the ribs, long shoulders and arms, slender. The beast ran off in the woods towards the creek. So no, he didn't say if he. I would have, judging by the way the conversation went, I'd say he was on two legs, but I cannot 100% tell you he was or not. I know when he was looking at him, he was on two legs.
That's
the creature was, and he was 7 foot tall. Which, in all actuality, if you listen to a lot of reports when it comes to either werewolves or Dogman, 7 foot is a pretty common average for them. So
it is. It is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's fascinating. And the fact that he admitted that he had urinated on himself when he saw it too, that's a natural reaction, for some people when they encounter something like that. I mean, I can only imagine. I would imagine his life flashed before his eyes.
Well, and the funny thing was, I talked to my friend this morning, and he gave me a little bit more clearance on the conversation between them two. Now, this guy used to give my friend a hard time on what he called his Dogman encounter, his werewolf encounter. Have you seen your dog friend lately? Giving him shit because my friend had the same encounter 50 years earlier in this same location, this general location. I mean,
Really?
My friend said, yeah, his encounter was extremely similar to mine and in the same location, pretty much. And so his friend used to give him crap about this because my friend told him one day, I've seen I've seen a werewolf here, and his friend hackled him. Well, then this happened. So his friend was a non-believer, and apparently he's definitely a believer now. I hate to say it, that's one hell of a way to become a believer is have one standing 6 foot in front of you.
Well, okay. My question is, do you think it could have been the same Dogman or werewolf, or do you think it could have been a new one, like another generation? I mean, this kind of boils down to what is the lifespan of a Dogman or a werewolf?
Man, that's the. Oh crap! We're about to get dumped on here soon. Sorry, I was listening to the thunder and looked out the window. Yeah, it's we're suspecting to get another tornado. I've been working cleanup damage with my job at the last one, and one actually came by my house here the other day, Tuesday. But so as far as lifespan, man, the possibility of being the same one, I can't say no. The possibility of being a newer generation, I can't say no. I can't. I don't know, man. I really don't know the lifespan. So some reports will tell you, some of the ancient stories will tell you that they live hundreds of years. Some of the other stories will also tell you they have roughly just a little bit longer of a lifespan of a human. So, I mean, either one of those possibilities is well in that realm. It really is. I can't defend it because I cannot ever pinpoint an actual how long one of these lives. Native Americans, even in their stories, never told how long they live. They just some of them will tell you they have a long lifespan.
Now,
when you listen to European encounters, Spartan or Roman and all these other ones. They'll tell you, they live long lives.
I
I
have
really
to
don't
ask
know.
this might be a silly question, but is it in human years or dog years? Okay.
The
I don't know.
way I took, the way I took the stories that I've came across from ancient stories, from old civilizations, it's more they always put everything in human years.
Human, that's what I
And
would
but you
think.
got to think, you got to think back then they didn't have dog years. Technically, I don't know when exactly people started coining the phrase dog years. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fairly new thing because you
Yeah,
never hear our ancestors ever saying dog years. My dog lived this many dog years. It was
right.
my dog lived this many years. Um, so, in all honesty, when it comes to the stories from my ancestors, it'd have to be human years on that. I mean, that's just my assumption. That's my hypothesis or theory on it. However it is
Yeah.
you guys want to coin it. That's what mine is on it. It'd be human years.
Hey, we have to ask the tough questions over here on the Cryptid Hunters channel.
Go for it.
It's like I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, that's fascinating though, to have the exact same encounter with basically what looks like the exact same type of a creature,
Mhm.
two different people, 50 years apart. I mean,
Yeah.
that says a lot. That says a lot. I mean,
Well,
because that means that they're living there, they're from there. There could be potentially generations of these things there.
yeah. When you watch that video I did, the picture in white is the one that my friend sent me. He goes, "This is the one that best describes what I saw and he saw." He goes, "But for me, this is definitely the best description of what we saw." I don't have a way to. Well, I guess I could share it to you on Facebook. I didn't think about that. Me and my unpreparedness.
Send it over.
Yeah, I can send
You
it
can
over on
send it over.
Facebook real.
I can upload it while we're on air.
Yeah, I should have thought about this earlier, and I completely brain farted that thing off. If you ever watch my show, I brain fart often. That's what I call my brain farts.
It's okay. Oh my gosh. I'll keep an eye out for it. Yeah, this is this is just fascinating. That is like a question that keeps coming up with a lot of the research that I do and our team does. Is what is the
Sim-
lifespan of a Bigfoot? What is the lifespan of a Dogman? What is the lifespan of any of these cryptids? Is it different?
Yeah, and that's one thing that really we need to try to dive into. But the problem is until we have continuous contact with them, and we can become like our ancestors, like the Native Americans alone. There's several stories from our Native Americans where they traded with them, or they had war with them. But none of them ever tell you the lifespan. And I think the only ones who may truly know, I'm sorry, they're probably in the ground by now because they're the ones that lived with them back in them times when they traded or had wars with them. I don't know if we can ever get to know. I hope one day we can. That'd be fascinating to know. But until we can get on that one-on-one basis, like Native Americans used to be with them, I don't know if we can ever know. I really don't. I'll have to ask William if he knows.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
William
that's
would
that.
know.
He said that was the closest description that he can find was that one right there, depiction of what he saw
I mean,
was that there.
that would be scary having something like that 6 feet from you because at that point you can't really do a whole lot to even get away from it. If
Mm,
it wanted to have hurt him, it would have hurt him.
yeah, and
Being
which
that
I don't. I just now thought of that. That looks like the lichens off the Underworld movie.
it does.
That just hit me on that. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but that does look a lot like what they depicted the werewolves in the Underground movie. Is this right here?
Yeah, the
Wow.
Underworld movies. Yeah, that's a great series, by the way. If
Oh,
anybody hasn't
yeah.
seen Underworld, that's one of the best
You're missing.
werewolf movies and
Oh,
vampires too.
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well,
I've
that's
been
really
up.
scary to be 7 feet tall. I mean, look at those arms,
Look at the
man.
fingers, the legs, the feet. Just everything about this thing. I consider myself a pretty brave dude. And there's not too many things I'm actually scared of. Supernatural stuff, I will admit, is one of the few things that actually gets my hair tingly. And I mean, and if you're dealing with werewolf or wolf man, you're dealing with supernatural. They're created. They're not made. They're created. They're not born. Like, Dogman is born. You listen to Native Americans, they'll tell you that Dogman's born where werewolves or wolfmen they're created from dark magic. I mean, look at one of your oldest European encounters of reports of a werewolf was a man went to a fork in the road and he made a deal with the devil and became a werewolf. That's the European wise. That's the oldest one you can find. I can't remember. I mean, I remember that because, man, I was a kid when I researched that. And I can't remember what European book it was. I think it was something that a monk had wrote. It was something from the monastery over in England. And man, I was reading what that monk wrote about that when that guy became a werewolf. And I don't remember what part of England it was from, but the guy went in detail how he became a werewolf. And that's exactly what he did was he went to a fork in the road somewhere there in England and met the devil at midnight, the witching hour, and made a deal with the devil and became a werewolf. So, I mean, that's black magic.
That's what I talk about sometimes too with the Church of Satan. Okay. And that Bill Schnobling guy that I always bring up. Good Lord, I'm going to have him on my show one day, y'all. I'm going to reach out to him one day. I've talked about him enough. So Bill, like I know him, Bill, he said that when you reach a certain level in like the Brotherhood of Satan, okay, that you can become either a vampire or a werewolf. And he went into detail about how it works and how they did it. And he chose to be a vampire. Okay. And he did become a vampire, he said. And I mean, the details are kind of juicy, man. It sounds really terrible too. It sounds horrible, but it's also fascinating because this has been going on for centuries. Okay. This is nothing new.
What kind of vampire did he become? Is he the one that sustains life off of blood, or is he the one that sustains life off of energy? What did he tell you?
Oh, I think it sounded very sexual based, in my opinion. Okay. I mean, it sounded more like it was just like a sexy thing, or they'd do like stuff, behind doors. Yeah. I don't know, it's like that, and they'd like suck each other's blood and stuff, and it was like a drug, basically. So I don't exactly know how deep it went, so to speak. Yeah. No idea.
Well, there is a U.S. Customs form from Florida where U.S. Customs allowed some vampires in the United States from there in Florida. And it states on there, vampire.
Yeah. Like recently?
Within, I can't remember exactly when it was. I remember looking at it because somebody had told me about it. I was like, you're full of crap. Well, sure as shit, on the U.S. Customs form there in Florida, that says allowed in the United States and has in there vampire.
Well, there were some vampires that were brought in New Orleans, allegedly, a long time ago. I think it was like a bunch of women, and I don't know the whole story behind it. Okay, don't quote me on it. But they brought in a bunch of women carrying caskets and stuff, and they went into that monastery or something. And
Nolans has got a lot of black magic, man. Nolans,
yeah.
That's a play. I got a brother of mine. He looks like me. He's like bigger. So we were in the Marines together. He was Fox Company. I was Golf Company. And he's from Nolans. And you ever say New Orleans around him, he gets pissy. He goes, by God, then ain't no God dang New Orleans, it's Nolans.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's my boy.
Well, speaking of the black magic, okay, so there's been a lot of debate on this grave digging Dogman that I've been talking about for the past week now. Okay, and I know you saw that show. Barry Littleton and I had done a show last week on it, and then I had Colleen Norris on my show this week, who is the person who actually owns that video. She's a boots on the ground field investigator out of Ohio and has taken tons of firsthand reports of werewolves and dogmen. And she's a Bigfoot researcher too. Fascinating woman. And, there are a lot of people that think that Dogman was actually in that graveyard in Ohio, near Akron, Ohio. And they were saying, well, they think it might have been conjured by black magic potentially, or maybe it was digging in the dirt to get cemetery dirt for some kind of ritual or something. I mean, it's really interesting. It's really odd too at the same time.
The reason why I don't kind of agree with that is you said something in your remote viewing that stuck out to me very, very deeply. And it said keyhole.
Yes.
You said keyhole in that deal. A lot of people don't realize you can't hop in no portal. You can't just hop in there. You hop in a portal without a key, bad things happen. You become unalive. I'm sorry to say that, but that's, I mean, it's, you listen to the ancient scriptures on portals and how they use portals. Even the Anunnakis had a purse. I mean, that purse had a certain thing into it. It was the frequency of the portal. That was their key. A key could be an amulet. A key could be a staff. I mean, whatever. It's got to have that thing with the same frequency. If you do not have that when you enter a portal, done. So when you said
So that
keyhole, I was like, oh, I wonder if
it was
he's
looking for
looking
a
for.
key.
That's what I'm wondering. I could be wrong. That is my theory. That is my hypothesis. Reading portals on ancient people. Because I mean, I did a show on the Bermuda Triangle where I told you about there's 12 of them all together. 6 above the equator, 6 below the equator. The only 2 are not perfectly aligned is the North Pole and South Pole. And if you listen to ancient Sumerian text, they tell you they use them portals to go from part of the world to the other world. But they can only go in it if they had a key. And if you ever notice, every time they go in this portal, they had look like a little purse with them. Yep. You had to have a key to get in there. And they'll tell you that. So
I mean, this is amazing, and I love this. I think you and I did kind of discuss this a little bit the other day. I had forgotten about that, and that, I mean, yeah, I couldn't figure out what in the world was that piece of data there for. Like what? Usually, everything has a little bit of significance when I'm writing down my remote viewing data. And the keyhole, I was like, well, maybe it's just because I was looking at it what I thought was a keyhole or something. I don't know. It was in the shape of it. I don't know. But keyhole was like one of the first things that I wrote down, actually, with that target was a keyhole. I think it was the first thing I wrote down.
So that begs the question, did it previously bury that key there and it was digging it up at that point in time? Or was he burying it there for another time? Because I remember you said, save for later.
Yeah.
I remember that being another one of your keywords you got on your remote viewing was save for later. Then you was talking about a little black object that was sitting there behind him, I think it was. Could he have buried something there for another time? That is possible.
Yeah.
That is possible. Now, I cannot say because
the dirt wasn't put back on it, though. It was still just an open hole. So it didn't like bury anything. It just dug a hole.
Which either A, it got caught and it realized it. So he said, okay, I got to go to another place to bury this thing. Or B, it grabbed what it needed and gone. Now, I cannot dispute grave dirt, ashes from a burnt human plays a lot in dark magic. They both, grave dirts and ashes from human, play stuff in black magic. So if he's digging up urns, could that be a possibility? Yes. Is he needing grave dirt for whatever spell or whatever incantation he's using? I can't say no to that. Just to me, the way you describe things tells me he was looking for a key. Now, he could have buried that there previously, like I said, and he dug it up.
Yeah, well, there was no urn there.
Yeah. No, so yeah. So I mean, that black thing that was there, could that be what the key set in so that he can use it? Possibly. I mean, I can't tell you exactly what the dude was doing, the creature was doing, but you got to look at things you can't look at things in one way. I mean, it's like I've always said on William's show. I've always said on my show, Native Americans, when they pondered something, sit in a circle around an object. Now, I look this one angle, I see one thing one way. When you look at it, you're seeing things another way. When you get done and take a break and you get up, you sit in a new location, you're now looking at that object at a different point of view. So now you're seeing this and I'm seeing this. So you see something in a different point of view. You have a different point of view of that object that you're talking about now. And when you're doing research and when you're doing investigations, you can't be one-sided. You have to go, look, this is possible, this is possible, and this is possible. This is how I see it from this point of view. And then you switch point of views and see it from somebody else's point of view, and you can see a whole nother story to that object from that other point of view. And this is what we have to do. So that's why I can say possibilities. All these are very good possibilities. We don't know what the thing was doing. We can all theorize. But when you say keyhole, saved for later, kind of makes me wonder why else what else would a creature like that need with a keyhole, unless it was a medicine man from his little group. And I mean, look, take Bigfoot. It's been reported by Native Americans. Native American will tell you that Bigfoot had medicine men in their tribes. They were able to access portals. They had the keys to access portals. Only they could do it. Could this have been a medicine man for his pack, and he needed the key to access the portal? All of it is definitely within the realm of possibility.
Oh my God, that's why I love bringing different people on my shows and us brainstorming, like just that information. Like, I never even thought of it in this way. Okay. And I'm in the fact that you heard that, now we can like kind of bring that into the conversation with this Dogman. I know that I've been hitting this Dogman digging in the cemetery from every angle lately. Okay. This past week, but I think it's so important because this is such fantastic evidence of what I think is a real werewolf or a Dogman. So let's hit it from every angle. Let's look at it. Like, what are all the possibilities of this thing?
I mean, every bit of that is well in the realm of possibility. You and I can't just hop in one and expect to come out A-okay. It's just, if we don't have the key, it's not going to happen. I'm sorry, folks. That's in ancient history. Throughout every single ancient civilization in history says the exact same thing when it comes to these portals. There has to be some level of truth to that. I mean, there really has to be, Even the Anunnaki would not go in one unless they had the key. Now, most of them had a key, and that's how they transported from one place to another. Okay, yes. Enoch, Book of Enoch. I refer to Book of Enoch quite often. I love the Book of Enoch because a lot of things that people try to say, this is how it is, I just tell them, go listen to the Book of Enoch, and you're going to have a different outlook on it. I mean, I was put in a ship, took it above the earth. The earth, all I seen was this round shape of where I came from. Okay, we definitely don't have flat earth. I mean, even Enoch's talking about seeing it as round. And aliens, Anunnaki, even at that time they'd be considered the Anunnaki. A lot of people don't realize when the Torah was written was, I think, somewhere around 2,600 years after the fall of Samaria. The Jews were in that area in Samaria in that time. If you actually study ancient Sumerian and you study our Bible, there's a lot of ancient Samaria in the Torah. I mean, Noah's even talked about during the great flood to kill the giants. I mean, you listen to all these other ones, ancient people from times, they talk about the God being displeased with the giants, caused a flood and killed them. Okay, so all this is in that thing. It's all throughout history. So definitely, I mean, during Enoch's time could have been the Anunnaki, and he was taken in a vessel or flaming chariot, sometimes you hear it's called, and took him to the heavens to see God. Well, he went up, and he was in this machine. He talked about this round machine, took him up. So I always found that fascinating on the UFO side of it, because he's straight up describing a UFO, space, and looking upon Earth from space. You sit there and read it. Now, actually read it. Don't just blah, 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 blah. No, actually go, hey, ha, 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 and you go, holy crap, And that's the thing you got to do. Because, I skip over crap all the time when I'm doing research, especially if I'm not in a hurry. Then I'll come back later and go, oh, I should have freaking seen that when I read it the first time, You really got to do that when you're doing that kind of stuff, because I've done it too,
Yeah, we all do that. We all do that. Yeah.
So,
okay. So, well, we've established that our history is not what we've been taught. Okay, it was not.
No.
And that actually circles back around to that whole, the lakes, flooding out all these towns and these ancient settlements that we have here. What is going on? I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but like some people even say that like America, like here, North America could have been like the original ancient Egypt and stuff. So I don't know if that's
a lot of truth.
But
There's a lot of proof telling you that the United States was the actual true promised land of the Israelites.
that's right. I hear that too. I mean, and if
The five,
you know people can argue, it's like, well, I mean, maybe we should all just have open minds about this and really look into it.
yeah.
You know,
It's like,
why not?
I told you on your show, I may not agree with everything you say, but that doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong, or I'm right and you're wrong. You see things at a different view. That we're in that circle. We're
Yeah,
sitting around that circle looking at the exact same object from a different view. We just got to hear the different views and sit at a different view and look at it that way. That's the only way we're going to know. If we don't do that, if we continue fighting each other and we keep telling each other, this is my way and this is the only way it's going to be, you're never going to get to the truth, folks. You're never going to get there. Now, I'm
amen.
sorry. You talk all the time about seeing orbs with Bigfoot. I've never seen an orb when it deals with Bigfoot. Have I seen orbs? Yes, I've seen it in paranormal investigations, and I've had one dart out of my woods when I was younger, almost hit me in the chest and shoot off. Now, I've got evidence that shows you that I possibly have a fae living on my property, which orbs are tied to fae.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a tree that has a human-looking face on it. If anybody knows anything about faes, they'll tell you that's a dryad's tree. A dryad is a fae. Is a fairy folk. In other terms, you don't know what fae is. Fae is a term used for fairy folk. So,
Oh, you're gonna
but
love this. I gotta tell you something real quick. Okay, so last night I was filming. I have like a members only exclusive, like videos that I put out for my channel members, and I turned on my camera last night, and I started filming. And within like the first 5 seconds of filming, an orb shot across my face. And then within a minute, it came back down and it went in front of me again. And this is not a bug. This is not a bug. I did have some Palo Santo burning. So there was smoke going this way and the orb went that way. It was like opposite of the smoke and you could totally see it. And it was, I mean, and that happens a lot of times when I'm live on videos and stuff. Like right now, I haven't seen any orbs. Usually I'll see them through the camera. A lot of times I won't see them right here and they'll be right there in my face, but I'll see them. And sometimes I will see them with my own eyes, but they do shoot across around my head while I'm filming videos sometimes. And the people that are watching will notice it.
Yeah, like if you look at case number 001, the Shade Beaver Paranormal Investigation, I have a camcorder sitting up next to me when I'm talking, and you'll see an orb come over my left shoulder and shoot across. That one to me speaks more of an orb. Now, have I found some other stuff that might have been orbs? Possibly, yes, but the way they acted will also tell me this very well could be dust fall or something else. You have to pay attention to that as well. Not everything that looks like an orb when you're doing paranormal stuff is going to be an orb, folks. Yes, it's going to be an insect. It could be dust fall. The thing that shoots lightning fast over my left shoulder and then kicks off up to the left, if I remember correctly in that video, to me, that screams orb. That really does. It has a straight, I mean, you just see it quick. I mean, if you really got to pay attention, I almost missed it. It was gone quick. I barely caught it, and that's in there. I have it in there. I put the other stuff in there because there is a slight chance they could be orb activity. But the other stuff, the one over my shoulder is the only one that I'm actually considering, yes, was an orb. And I didn't see it with my naked eye when it was happening. And that happened, it was happening some point in time after my camera mysteriously got knocked over on the bar. I was sitting there talking, all of a sudden you watch my camera go, pow, pow. And I asked, did you knock my camera over? And it said, I had to.
Well, it was evidence. And I think orbs are actually the one common denominator amongst a lot of the research that I do, my teams do. No matter what we're doing, where we're at, there can be orbs. And that's with the UFO community, it's with the paranormal community, and it's with the cryptid community and the spiritual community. Okay. Too.
And that's, and if you remember, I told you Sundays, like I can't dispute that you see orbs during cryptid stuff because they're both elements of nature. Fae is out in nature, known to be with orbs. So the fact that orbs are around cryptids, I can't never dispute it. They're both out there in nature. They both coexist with each other in one fashion or another. So I can never dispute it. I personally have just never seen that. With the cryptids, I've just seen it individually on its own. So I mean, that's why I said it. always one possibility of why you're seeing orbs with cryptids, because you got Fae running around there as well.
Well, we have a lot of extraterrestrial or ultra-terrestrial, extraterrestrial, ET, UFO activity. We get a lot of that when we're out in the woods. And I mean, one of my teammates, he said one night when we were out in the woods, he was chased basically by some orbs that were forming into like triangular patterns and stuff and formations. And that's actually a little unnerving. You know, we don't really know what these orbs are, other than you know, my friend Matt has a video that he's put out. He's a Bigfoot field researcher too, and with Mountain Empire Cryptid Research Organization up in Virginia. Matt's got a great video. He just made it public at a conference that we did that not too long ago. But it's of an orb that turns into a gray, and it runs around, and then it shoots back into it turns into an orb again and shoots back into the air. So it's like, well, that was more of a solid orb. But, you know, I mean, I have a friend out in California, Brown Dwarf, who comes on the show sometimes. He's constantly filming orbs. They look metallic, like metallic type orbs floating over Los Angeles. And it's like, well, it looks like a drone to me, but I've seen that video of what looked like a drone, but it was an orb, and it turned into an alien. So who's to say these little orbs floating over LA aren't drones? They're actual ETs. I mean, I don't know. I know it's weird.
Or the fact that it turned into a gray could be the same thing what R2-D2 did with Obi-Wan Kenobi delivering a message, you know. Help me, Obi Kenobi. You're my only hope. And it projects this image. Possibly. I mean, dude, that's cool.
Holograms, projections.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I see tons of UFOs here. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, I see a lot around military bases, but I've seen some all over the world. And like, I've brought people out here that were non-believer in UFOs. And I said, you really don't believe in UFOs, right? Well, no, I don't. I said, well, first off, let's discuss UFO. UFO means unidentified flying object. It means it's something flying around that we do not know what it is. UFO. You know, I'm not saying this is an alien spacecraft, but what I will tell you on the UFOs that I do see, I do not know any human aircraft that can do the crap I see these things do in the night sky here. I'm sorry, I don't know of any human aircraft to go bink, bink, bink.
Yeah.
Or just sit there and go bink, bink. You know, and I'll take them on the clear sky and I'll say, look up here, because I don't have the light pollutions from the concrete jungle like a lot of people's got. I live out in the boonies, you know, so light pollution ain't around me. And you can look up there and you'll see these these white balls just do all this weird crap in the night sky. And people's like, holy shit. And I said, that is not man-made. If it is man-made, something we don't know about yet. But from our knowledge, doing that is not man-made. And they've gone away going, man, I can't believe they're real. Man, T, you're right. They're real. You know, some people call me T. Some people call me Giggity. Other people just call me Eric, you know. Yeah, I've got several different names. But
Giggity.
And a lot of my military friends call me
Family
T.
Guy? Okay.
Yeah, actually, that's actually how I got my name, Giggity. Yeah, that's my road name, Giggity. So that's actually how I got it. It was because of Quagmire. So there, and everybody gets a kick out of it. So I go, giggity, 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 all right. So I got to do it from time to time. So,
I love that.
It's just, yeah, so it just depends on who's talking to me, what name they're calling me, and then I'll show them that, you know. Yeah. Of course, I've showed my daughters that when they were younger, and now every time, Dad, I seen one. I was like, all right, yeah. They're all over the place. You just got to look. Get away from that light pollution.
All you got to do is look up. Yeah, we do. We have a lot of light pollution down here. You know, I mean, I'm not super far from Atlanta, but like the little towns and stuff. And even when we're up in the mountains, you know, the skies are way more clear out there, but there's still light pollution, you know, and stuff. But yeah, it's way better when we're out in the field to see the stars. And I've seen some weird stuff myself. I've seen a lot of weird stuff, and never ceases being.
I'm lucky. The closest town to me is a small town, and it's a small farming town. So pretty much everything shuts down at night. So we don't have all these digital lights like Springfield has, or Branson, or Kansas City, or St. Louis, or none of them places like that here in Missouri. Where I'm at, closest town is 12 miles away, and it's pretty much after about 6 o'clock at night, everything starts dying down. So when it gets late at night, there ain't nothing open. Or maybe the gas station. The gas station would be about the only thing open that night.
Y'all don't have Waffle Houses? Y'all don't got a Waffle House?
We got a Signal / Mickey D's. We have that. We have Signal / Mickey D's. A Mexican restaurant, I was like, okay, yeah, maybe it used to be good. Nowadays, it's like, A Chinese buffet is like, well, I'm in a pinch and I'm hungry and don't feel like cooking, so Chinese. Oh crap, my boss just texted me. Give me 1 second. I gotta make sure I ain't getting called in.
Okay. Yeah, we have a Chevron McDonald's. We call it the Chevronald here. So yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But my small town I grew up in is not a small town anymore. So it's becoming a metropolis. So it's harder to find skies that are clear. Yeah. Are you gonna have to head out?
No, he was just checking on me. The storms are to the east of me. I can hear him rolling in. He was checking on me because I'm on call. So if this tornado actually touches down, then I'll have to split. But that's why I'm keeping my phone close to me because
thank you.
I'm considered
for joining. Yeah.
Oh, no worries. I'm good. We're good so far.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've come to the end of I said we'd go about an hour. We've come to the end of the hour, but we can hang out for a few more minutes if you'd like. I mean, we pretty much covered everything. I really wanted to talk about those werewolves, those reports that you had up there. So, that is something that has really been fascinating to me lately, are the werewolves and Dogman sightings and reports that we've had, especially in the Midwest and up in Ohio. I've focused on those this week.
Yeah, I mean, we hear so much about Dogman encounters here in the Midwest. When I get one, hear one that's possibly a werewolf, I want to take interest in it. My boss is a good friend. He's just checking on me because he's like, "It's coming." I was like, "Yeah, I can hear it. It's to the east. We're good." So, I love storms. Like, I'll sit out in the yard until the first lightning strike closest by. Then I'll get under my porch, and I love sitting there. I'll sit on my porch swing, drinking some tea. You know, I don't do sweet tea. I'm too fluffy. I'm too sweet as it is. You know, sweet. You know, anything sweets make me sick, so I can't have a lot of sweet stuff. So I'm just plain Jane fluffy.
Yeah. Drinking your unsweet tea. I'm an unsweet tea drinker. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, man. You know, so I love sitting on the porch, either drinking coffee in the morning, you know, straight up hot and black like God meant it to be, or I'm drinking unsweet iced tea, or right now I'm drinking water because my lazy butt hasn't got around to making any tea yet. But I love sitting on my porch watching them storms, man. I love you. There's so, you know, and I tell people this, and I made a video of this the other day, and it's gotten like over 400 views now. I was telling people, you need to get out in nature. Like I was telling them, this is nature's song, and you're listening to the birds sing. Storms are the same way, folks. There's so much people don't realize. With rain, yes, it gets rid of the dead and decay, but it brings life. This is nature. And if you don't get out into nature and you don't get into nature's harmony, its vibe, you don't hear its music, you don't connect with it. This is why we're detached from it. It's because we're so used to these freaking things here or that concrete jungle, and we've lost what we are. We are all a part of nature. We belong. We are one with it, one with the vibration, one of the elements. We are all a part of nature. And until we get back in that groove, man, and get back on track with that, we're disconnected and we're not the same. So I always tell people do that. And so I went out there, was talking about this, and I said, listen, and you hear all the birds sing. I said, that's music. That's pure natural nature music. And then I've done another one shortly with all these thousands of tadpoles sitting in what I call Testerman's Lakes. That's in one of my drives because my lakes both my drives are Testerman's, land of Testerman's Thousand Lakes. That's how my drive is. There's thousands of these tadpoles in here. I was like, you miss stuff like this here. You know, you don't get to see the flowers and the bushes and the beauty and the birth and yes, spring deals with sexuality as well. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, the beauty of everything it has that it's out there, you know, it's life, it's new birth. And that's why I did those. And storms to me is the same way. It's all part of nature, man. It's all part of harmony. It's all part of music. It's all part of connection. I used to take my kids out and we'd dance in the rain. As long as it wasn't lightning, we was out there dancing.
Oh, I love the rain. I love the rain and the thunder, the lightning, all the energy of it. And speaking of nature and spring, so every year I look forward to, because I've always grown up on the lake and we have lake and stuff. it's always seeing those little baby geese every spring when the baby
Mm-hmm.
geese come out and their parents want to come show them off to you, and the mama's hungry, so I've always fed all of our
Yeah.
geese, and I love seeing those baby geese. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything's, and
For
I saw
me,
two sets of babies this morning. So
did you? For me, it's the
yeah,
newborn
spring's here.
fawns, man. I mean, for me, there's
Yeah.
nothing there to me. There's nothing more magical than seeing a newborn fawn dancing around in the prairie grass, man. That
Oh,
is God. That is magical. That is such an amazing thing to watch. Man, it's just y'all got to see it. Man, when you get out there and you see them fawns dancing around and kicking and bucking and they're doing their little thing and just being in the fall over, it's comedy and everything rolled into one. I I haven't
wait.
even paid for my satellite service. I don't even watch TV that much. I got nature, man.
Oh no,
You
we got
know.
rid of cable and all that a long time ago. I mean, I don't have time to watch TV. Okay, I'm too
No.
busy doing all these shows and looking for Bigfoot and Dogman and stuff. So,
Oh, yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
that's the way I am lately. I mean, every now and then I'll take
yeah.
some time out, and I like my wrestling or I like my history stuff. I like watching my history stuff because I'm usually on there going, "That's full of crap," or "Hey, that's not a bad idea." Yeah, I critique it, but I like watching it, man. I ain't gonna lie. The
Well, you're
Discovery Channel, like animals.
Oh yeah, I like Discovery. I like ghost shows sometimes, but okay. So you're
Uh,
probably busy writing your books. Can you tell me a little bit about your books? You're an author, and tell the audience about what you're writing about, and tell them where to find all your
uh,
books.
so currently, I've got 5 books out. I just had another one released on audio. 3 of my 5 are on audio right now. So on Kindle, paperback, or hardback, I have Saga Grimson Book One: The Beginning, and this is historical fiction, but it's cryptid horror mixed into all together. So this takes place back in the old, Viking days. Saga Grimson Book One: The Beginning does. I also have Saga Grimson Book Two: Black Death, and that was based off of the theory that the Dark Druids caused the Black Death to fall upon the earth. That's
Is
what
that
I kind
magic?
of based that. Yeah, yeah, dark magic.
Magic. Yeah.
Druids from Celtics. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of
You
dark
you'll have your.
magic, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of it, yeah. So that's the concept of Saga Grimson Book Two: Black Death. Was that takes place during the times of the Black Death. So and it's the theory of that. Now there's a prequel to that book which takes place during World War II, and that's called the Varrigan Guard Book One: House of Battle. And that takes off the theory of the Allied stories of these German werewolves that actually transform and was killing them constantly. That's what this book is about. Grimson's Varrigan Guard goes to Germany during World War II to fight these German werewolves and kill them. Because Grimson is a monster hunter. He was blessed by Odin, his grandfather Odin, to hunt creatures that hunt humans. So he's always saying, I'm here to destroy what lurks in the dark." And it's because that's his job. That's why he's immortal. He's immortal. He cannot go to Valhalla, which Valhalla, for people don't understand, Valhalla is what Valhalla was actually called. It was called Valhalla. Valhalla is a more of a modern term versus the actual term Valhalla. So
What?
when he can't go to Valhalla until you destroy all these that kill these innocent people. So that's kind of where Saga Grimson comes from. This is where Varrigan Guard comes from. I also have a historical fiction called The Dolph's Land Beyond, which is my Mountain Man series. Now I'm a big Louis Lamar fan, very big
Mhm.
Sackett fan too. So I kind of took what I liked from that and put my own twist to it to create The Dolphs. So that is out there, and that's actually my newest one that's out on audio. Is The Dolph's Land Beyond. And then I have my very first sci-fi I wrote, which is called Inhar Jar Book One: Emergence, which takes Vikings and Marines and marries them together in a futuristic time where they fight the Gru, or as people on these shows would call the Draco. In my books, they're called the Gru, and
That
so
sounds
it's the
awesome.
same basis. Yeah, it's they go around the planets to destroy planets for their minerals. Okay, and they also hunt the life forms for meat. That is the reason why the Gru take over these planets. So the Frong had been fighting them long before the Earth has. And the Frong and the Earthlings came together and created the program called the Inharjar, which is a hybrid between human and Frong. That is, so this is the thing that pisses me off. And this is my own stupidity when I was younger. When I first came out with this book over 20 years ago, I should have published it and I didn't do it. It sucks because shortly after I got done with that is when Halo came out. I basted the Inharjar off the Marine Corps exoskeleton that the Marine Corps is working on at the time. And that's the suit. And if you watch Halo, that's what Halo's suit is. That's what Master Chief suit of. The Spartan suit is that suit, is the Marine Corps exoskeleton they were designing. So I was like,
no way.
What? Yeah, so now I came out of the book and I have to change the suit up because then I have to worry about copyright crap. But that's actually how I started that book, all them years ago, was based off of the Marine Corps exoskeleton they were working on. Was that there?
It's you a book ahead of your time over there. I tell you what.
Yeah, so it kind of sucks. So currently I'm working on So currently I'm working on another historical fiction I'm writing on. It's called The Two Brothers, War and Turmoil. This takes place in 892 CE, back in the days of Danelaw, and when they're still raiding England. And there's an English guy and a Norse guy that comes to find out they're brothers. From they're his. One of them's dad was over in England and had another son. Two brothers. That's where the theory of that comes from. So I'm working on that, and I got the first chapter of something I've never written before that I absolutely love, and which I'll work on next. And it's called "Death Haunts the Night," and it is a murder mystery. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't even know who the murderer is right now. I'm going to find out the same way you guys do. I'm going to have to write the book. The only difference is I'm writing it. You'll have to read it. So I'll find out whenever it decides to make itself apparent in the book. That's honestly, at the same time I find out, it's when you guys find out.
God, you're so creative. I love it. You're so creative. How cool.
Yeah,
all those books sound amazing. Like all of them.
Yeah. I have to catch myself sometimes because so this murder mystery that I'm working on, and there's another book I'm going to start too, is not military based, which a lot of my stuff is military based because that's me. I'm an old Marine grunt. I write how we talk in the Marines. So sometimes, I've had to go to DAs like, dude, let me send this to you. Let me know if this is too much. Because even though this is how we talk in the Marines to a civilian, they're going to go, dude, you're a freaking, what the hell? You're sick. That's just how we talk. To me, it's normal. But I'll have to sit there and catch myself and go, if I don't catch it, go, man, this is going to be a little too much for these guys. I'm going to have to, kind of water this down quite a bit. If I'm kind of on the fence, I've done it. I've said to DA's like, dude, tell me what you think on this. And he's like, it's not up to me, it's up to you. But yeah, that might be a little much. I'm going, hey, that's kind of what I was thinking too. A Marine will walk up to a female Sasquatch and like, hey man, I'm in the mood. You in the mood? We're just that way. We don't care. We're trying to take something out. We're trying to bring it out, the rest out in the open, take them out. It's not above us to walk up there. It's like, hey, you got any raspberry reserve? It's done. It's just
man, I learned something new. I just learned something new. I learn something new every day. I tell you what.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I can't very well put that in the book. So I'm going to have to go, let me bring this down to a more civilian level. So I have to catch myself doing that quite often when I'm writing the military way, because how we are in the military is not the same way the civilian is. I tell this people all the time, and this rings more true when you go to combat than anything. When you go in, you're not the person that goes in is not the same person that comes out. And if you ever, heaven forbid you ever have to go and see and do the crap that we've done, that person dies over there, and what comes back is not the same person. So I have to bring myself back from that state of mind to a state of mind I should have been that I was prior, basically. So I have to be very careful on how I write, because that's just, I get too much of me in there. All my books has me, has my family history, my family background. All that is in my books. There's a big element of me in every single one of my books. My family, two sides of my family come from Norway, and the Testamans come from Ragnar Lothbrok to Ivar the Boneless. So Odin, some people tell you that Ragnar is the son of Odin. In some sagas, he's not. So there's that element's in my books, especially the saga of Grimson's. So all that plays in there. North mythology, North gods, all that stuff play in my books because that's me. I carry Gungnir with me all the time. I keep Mjolnir with me. I've always got Mjolnir, and I'm Native American. I've always got my Native American stuff too. So every element of me is in my books too. So that's how I write.
I love it. You're, like I said, you're so creative, and you have a lot of knowledge of history and even like Native American legends and lore and ritual stuff. I mean, you have a lot of knowledge on a lot of stuff, and you put that knowledge out too, not only in your books but on your YouTube channel too. And you got a podcast. I had a lot of fun on your podcast this past week. Okay, with you last weekend, whenever that was. That was fun. Thank you for having me.
I was stoked. Oh, thank you for coming. I was stoked. I had a freaking rock star on my show. I was like, dude, tiny fish has got the big fish. Yeah, all right. Yeah, man. That's how I was. I was like, dude, I got to get a proper ingrate. Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. I'm big on proper ways to investigate things. I don't want people to make the mistakes that I made when I was younger. So that's why I was like, we really need a show discussing different ways to investigate, because when I was younger, I was like a bull in a china cabinet. And I was like, look at me, walked in, I know this crap, blah, blah, blah. And then shit happened to me, and that's going to happen to you if you don't do things the right way. And that's why it's like, we really need to do a show. And I was like, man, Jessica would be great for this show, And I wish DA was able to come on too, but DA was busy. DA was going to try to come on as well. And then William was talking about trying to come on if he was able to. If those don't know, keep William in your prayers, man. William's going through a lot of health stuff right now. So keep William Nighthawk in your prayers. But anybody's got, and I love that. I'm constantly learning and evolving myself. And that's my knowledge on cryptid stuff, paranormal stuff, supernatural stuff, and investigating. My great grandpa, God rest his soul, used to tell him, he says, boy, you're always learning until the day you die. And even when you die, you still learn something new. So if you ain't learning, you're dead. So I'm always constantly learning and evolving, nonstop, learning and evolving. And that's what I want to do. And I put this out there. I don't do these shows for me. I don't make money doing this stuff. I can't get super stickers. I don't get paid by YouTube, but I'm still out there kicking it out, man, because I love doing it. I love to give this to you guys. I do this for the folks. I don't do it for me. I don't get my jollies off doing this. I have fun doing it, but I do it for you. And that's why I create this show. So that's just how I am. I always said, if you want to donate, I got places you can donate to, but I'm not going to ask you for your money. I'm still going to do this. Everything I got for research, I paid out of my own pocket. I've robbed Peter to pay Paul. So I need
Me too. So research is expensive, man. Like I mean, I know researching is like an expensive hobby when you're out there doing cryptid field research, especially if you got all the equipment. It ain't cheap. I had
an extra $150 I dropped on a microscope that I can hook to my laptop. So now that we can actually in the field, firsthand experience, look at something if we catch something now, and I can keep a record of it. So, I mean, I've got that stuff. I mean, I've got bags. I've got recording equipment. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, I'll scratch up a little bit of extra money and I throw it towards her. I've never had anybody donate anything or give me money to buy it. I bought it, and I'm going to continue doing that because I love being in my woods. I love investigating this stuff. I love this stuff. I've always loved this stuff. Since my very first paranormal experience at 3 years old with my late grandmother, I've had a love for this stuff. So I'm going to do it. Regardless if I'm doing a show or not, I'm going to get it out there. And what I find, I love giving to you guys. Because what I put out there for you guys, what I find, that helps educate you. So I'm going to do it. Hey, look, this is what you find. People go out and do a paranormal investigation, get all butthurt because they don't find a full body apparition. Full body apparition, catching one of those is a rarity. You're not going to catch. Yeah, you're going to catch a shadow or a slight light, or you're going to see a blurriness. Is most of what you're going to catch, and even then, that is not very common. But that is going to be the most common type of apparition. 99.6% of what you find in the paranormal investigation is going to be audio. That
That's
is
right.
going to be the most that you're going to catch. And people don't understand that. So they get mad in paranormal stuff because they're not finding these full body apparitions.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen, folks. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
And you're not,
I'm blessed.
it's going to be
Yeah,
the
go
same
ahead.
with the Bigfoot stuff too. Is like you're not probably not going to see a Bigfoot the first time you go out there. Okay, you're probably not. And a lot of the research that we do is pretty boring, actually. Okay, it's pretty boring. It ain't like the TV shows. Okay, it's not.
Yeah.
It's
No,
boring, but it's fun.
Just like tree formations. Now, when it comes to tree formations, I find them very interesting. But I'm always going to try to debunk these things before I put it out there. And even if I can't debunk it, I'm going to tell you possibly. You know, I've done a show on it after, because I was part of the docuseries of Byways of Bigfoot with Linda Eastburn. If you guys haven't seen it, you can go to Linda Eastburn's YouTube channel, look up Byways of Bigfoot. You see this fluffy hillbilly tramping around the woods like I know what I'm doing.
Fluffy, your fluffy butt.
Great show. Yeah, my fluffy butt, man. But it was fun, and we kind of see the stuff now. Like I went out a couple Sundays ago, and I put it on my YouTube channel of the fresh footprints I found. Sadly, it was in the last location that I known my little boys to be, but it was in that location.
And your dogs.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, two of them. Yeah.
Have you not seen a sign? You haven't seen your dogs? I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah.
I look every time I drive around. I thought, oh my God, dude! I thought I seen Romeo today when I was driving down H Highway. I stopped in the middle of H Highway because I swear to God that was Romeo, but it wasn't him.
Oh,
I was like, oh man, you talk about heart shattering. And it was a friendly dog. I mean, he's like, hey, hello, I want to say hi. I'm like, I'll say hi to you, dude. Yeah, what's up? You know, but I mean, sadly, that stuff happens out here. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. I've had animals attacked by wildlife, and I've had animals that vanish like a fart in the wind. That's just what happens out here. Now, what's taking them? I don't know. I can tell you now. I use the word K-site. If you guys ever hear me hear K-site, that's talking about a K-site rhymes with ill, so it's like an ill site. K-site. You don't find one of those. Yeah.
Right.
So if I say K-site, that's because it's I can't say it on YouTube, otherwise it'd get you in trouble. But it rhymes with ill. If you don't find one of those, 9 times out of 10, if it ain't a human, it's something else that snatched him up, and that's what was the case in this year. I found no K-site, no remnants. No, it's like they vanished. I can't rule out human, but I can't. William said he saw something in his deal that said snatched him from above, and I said that's the feeling I always got. They got snatched, which is not uncommon. And considering what I got runs around here, and I've done shows on it, and I've just shown my latest evidence on what I found that weekend too. I can't rule that out.
Yeah, you have a lot going on out there. Yeah, before I felt like I interrupted you. You were about to say, did you find an X structure or something in your woods?
Oh yeah, I find that stuff, and usually I find it in a certain distance from my game cam. Usually, right in a path, I'll find it a straight up X formation. And it's like right on the edge of the view of my game cam.
It's almost probably like they put a marker. It there to warn them. Yeah, it's probably a marker to be like, y'all don't come over here. There's one of these little cameras, those little things with the red light on it. Yeah.
Which I never thought about it until, which I never thought about it until DA brought it up one time. I was like, they have nighttime visions. So the fact they pick up AR, I can honestly see that being a plausible theory of why you can't get them on game cams very often. Now, am I hoping that one day I accidentally snap one when it wasn't expecting it? Like a tree moves and click. Oh, gotcha. No. Yeah, I'm hoping for that. And isn't that yet, but I'm hoping for it. I've caught some weird crap on there. I've got a picture I caught on my game cam down here at my old my rifle stand that I swear to God looks like a damn lizard coming out of the ground. I can't explain it. I've sent it to DA. He can't explain it, but it's in one picture and one picture only. And damn, looks like a freaking lizard coming out of the ground.
Ooh, a big lizard like human size?
I'll send it to you, dude.
I want to see it.
I mean, it's weird as hell. It's like, am I seeing something supernatural, Am I seeing something paranormal, or is just pareidolia? I can't explain it. I mean, but it's only that picture, and
Oh, I
that's
want
what
to see
makes
it.
it bizarre. Yeah, so
Well,
that's what
that's
makes it bizarre is that picture is only that one there.
I love
Um,
it that that's the name of your YouTube channel, The Bizarre and the Unknown. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and also you also are on Saturday and Sunday mornings with William Nighthawk too on the Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast
yeah,
too.
we
And you guys, man, y'all have the best conversations. You really do. Between you and him,
I love
man,
William.
it's amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love him. William's a solid dude. I love being on there with William. I just, man, we talk about, and we don't talk just about supernatural, paranormal, and cryptid, y'all. I'm gonna give you a heads up. There's me and him is still pretty tied to things that's happening that people don't know, both on the political and everyday lifespan. We're both really tied into that still, just because of both of our knowledges and stuff we had while we was in the military. So we talk about current things that's happening, about the war that people don't know that's happening right now. We talk about, discuss about AI and how, I always tell people like, yes, yeah, AI screws us in research side. But if we take what they use against us to discredit us and make us look like wackos, we turn around and use it against them. That's the only way you're going to defeat the people that's doing this stuff. And you got to do it, man. So I use it for my books. I use it till if I can't find an image of something I'm trying to talk about, I'll create one. So what I like to do is like I got an author's Facebook page. If you see me in my cowboy hat, you see me in this hat right here with my sunglasses. It's the same as my author's book. That's my author's Facebook page, not my regular one. Like when I design a character or I design a book cover, I like to put it on there and let my readers vote. My readers are just as much into my books as I am. I don't write these books for me. I write them for you. So I want you to have a hand in it. So that way, when you get this book, it's like, man, I chose this cover, or I chose this cover, or this character. You guys are just as much as my books as I am. So I mean, I give that option to you guys. I always drop when something gets released. I was hoping to find that picture pretty quick, but I'm not. I'll have to hunt for it later on and send it to you.
Oh, it's okay. We'll look at it later. You send it to me anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always down to look at a cool picture.
Yeah, I always put that. I mean, I want to get my readers involved too. So, I mean, that's stuff I do. But I use AI for that purposes too. So, that first picture in that case number 002, possible Dogman werewolf report. That very first picture is what I curated, trying to pick, trying to get to the brain of what they saw. At that time, I didn't have the knowledge of the no-tell deal, and then he sent me the one that you showed, and I said, okay, I'll just use that. That'd be a lot quicker. So I get on there and I create AI pictures as well. And I'll tell you, if I'm doing a show and I come across a picture, I'll say this is either AI or this is possible, or no, this is actually what it is. I do that. Me and William do that stuff all the time. We'll pick a picture and break it down. I did that first time I ever came on your show. And I was going, man, that looks like, look, you can see the lines of there, the fakeness of the plastic, that's what we do on his show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love
that's
that.
what
I think
we do
it's
on here.
important we do that. Yeah, we got to do stuff like that. I love that. I think this, because it's so hard for some things look so real now. You don't know if things are real or fake or whatever. I mean, it was hard enough before AI came out, right? But now it's ridiculous. So,
and if you think about it, before, that photo is the type of stuff they did before.
yeah.
Then we got to where we can pick that apart. Going, look, dude, look how fake this is. So they started coming out with AI. Now we're so focused on AI, it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to bring back an old technique to try to throw you off again. People's always going to try to discredit what we see out there. I'm sorry to tell you guys, until this becomes public knowledge, there's always going to be somebody tries to discredit you. You have to do two things. Yeah, you're going to have to do one or two things. Either A, get whooped like a pup and run away with the tail between your legs, or B, stand up and go, yeah, is that all you got, dude? I got this, just give it to me. Best quote, best movie quote all times, Rocky Balboa. And he goes, it doesn't matter how hard life knocks you down. What matters is how hard you can get knocked down and get back up. We have to be that way in this field. We have to take them punches, man. We're going to have to take a sucker punch. We're going to have to take a cheap shot, get knocked to the ground, and get back up and go. I almost said a word because old grunt me about came out. I had to catch myself for a second. So we're going to stand back up and say, look, is that all you got? Because I got more, baby. I keep going. That's how you got to be in this stuff. Yeah, you really do.
Hey,
I get credit on TikTok.
Yeah. Oh, no, I was going to say, I've gotten a really tough skin. Being online, talking about Bigfoot and stuff. And the remote viewing is actually worse when it comes to people like trying to tear me down and stuff. So, but it is what it is. It's fine. It sucked. But now I just don't pay attention to what other people say. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
You know.
No,
because I'm just trying to figure things out, just like everybody else. Yeah. So,
and probably one of the worst things can ever happen, but the best thing can happen for you, for what you guys call remote viewing. Remote viewing is a modern term for me. For me, it was just a gift that my family has. You see things that other people can't see. It's just a gift, is what we called it. Now I hear this remote viewing is very popular. So, one of the things movies came out probably hurt you guys or helped you guys either way was called Men Who Look at Goats.
Well, those are actually,
honestly, that's what they're trying to do.
Well, the type of remote viewing I do is like what the military learned, and it's an actual like scientific way to use your psychic abilities to locate target. So that's it. Yeah, it basically that they show you the truth right there as to what remote viewing really is. Now, there are people that say they're remote viewing that aren't actually remote viewing the way that I remote view. So it's a little different. Yeah. So, but the way I do it is the way the men that stare at goats do it, like that kind of.
And what they did was they took abilities that people had and expanded it and made it differently. So that's what I think is fascinating. People don't realize how true that actually is. The military does that crap all the time. Yeah. When we were hunting drug cartel, we always learn. You don't listen to what the guy says. You listen to how he says it, what he says, and you tap into him and go, is he lying or is he telling you the truth? And you can usually tap into somebody and go, that guy ain't worth our time, or hey, this guy knows more and we need to tell this guy. And that's how you find drug cartel. Because I can tell you now, I've fought pirates, I've fought drug cartel, and I've fought terrorists. And out of all three of them, one of the worst ones you can ever go up against is a damn drug cartel. Because them guys they are good. They have better equipment than we freaking have. I mean, I'm telling you, hands down, the hardest one you can ever go up against is a drug cartel.
I've had conversations. Well, I've had conversations with people about the possibility of some of the cartels using Dogman and werewolves as their security. And like that.
I personally have only heard that a handful of times, but if the military is doing that crap, I can't see why they ain't going to do it.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, there's a certain little 3-letter entity that keeps these guys flowing, saying they have access to the same access, and they have access to better stuff than we got. So if our military is doing it, I can never dispute that's not out of the question. I personally have never seen it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. I've been in some hairy shit. I've seen some things around this world, and I don't talk about a lot of it, and that's just me because and it's not. I'm not trying to belittle nobody, so please do not take this the wrong way. Anybody that's listening, there's a reason why a lot of us don't talk about a lot of shit we've seen or done. You guys can't understand why we did and why we had to do what we did when we did it. Okay. So when one of us don't want to talk about it, we're not trying to be rude. We're really seriously not trying to be rude. So please do not take that the wrong way. There's shit I will kind of talk about, but I won't go in detail because you guys honestly cannot understand or comprehend the level of what you have to become to do what you got to do, if that makes sense. I'm trying to put this in a polite term, so please forgive me.
It makes sense.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
So
Well, Eric, I know you probably hear this a lot, but thank you for your service. And I know it wasn't easy, and it's something I know a lot of my friends and family who have been overseas and been in the military suffered a lot from their service. Some of them did, and with PTSD and a wide range of things. So, but it's without you guys, you know, I wouldn't feel as safe today. Okay, and guys like you.
the guys,
So,
the guys and gals that come back deserve the thanks more than I ever will. I mean, I was just one of the guys that made it back, man. The ones that didn't, they deserve y'all's thanks and praise more than I ever will. They paid the higher price than I've ever paid. Now that they're the ones that truly deserve it. You know, I do it
absolutely.
again. I'm broke down. You know, I can't hardly move. I've gained a crap ton of weight with all these meds I'm on, and in fact, I can't do things when I did when I was younger. But I do it all again because that's my calling, man. My calling is to be a protector and a leader and an educator. That's
Yeah.
my calling, man. That's why I do what I do, and I do it again, heartbeat. Well, I live with
I can
pain
tell
every
you
single
love
day,
it.
but I do. I do.
I,
It's amazing. It's an amazing world, and the fact that everything new I learned, I love learning new stuff, man. I love learning new stuff because you get a
me
different
too.
point of view, a different aspect on something. It's like, like when I did that show on Lilith, and William goes, "What about the red-haired giants and the royal family?" I went, "Why did I not think of that?"
Yeah, right.
Bam. And we kind of talked about it on his show that following I think it was that Saturday after I did my show. I think it was that Saturday morning after I did my Sunday show because Saturday nights I do what's called campfire chats with Eric and guest, and that's a free platform that you guys can come on and talk about your encounters. I'm not going to talk down to you, regardless if I agree with your encounter or not. I'm not going to belittle it. It was your encounter. It wasn't mine. I don't know. I wasn't there. How can I say you didn't see this or you did? So Saturdays is a place where you can come on, and if you want to come on live and talk about it, man, I'll shoot you a strike. Come on, dude. We'll go on. We'll talk about it. Most people like talking to chats. Hey, that's fine. I'll pop the chat up. We'll talk about it. I'll give you my point of view, what I've learned, what I've seen, and we'll go from there. And that's what that show's for. My campfire chats with Eric guest was created by my fans, by the people who follow me. That is their show. That's not my show. I did not come up with that show. They came up with that show. And that all stemmed when I was doing a live, when I was editing a book, because I like to hop on and do lives when I'm writing or editing, because it gives to my readers a look into what my life is when I'm writing a book. I'm dyslexic. When it comes to spelling and reading, it's hard. I struggle very, very, very hard with writing. I love to write, but I'm struggle. I'm dyslexic. It's
Yeah.
hard for me. So I have all these programs that I use that read it out, and I listen to it. It's like, oh wait, this don't sound right, and I'll change it. And once I do that, I've got a brother of mine that likes to read too. So now I'm starting to get to where I can send him. So the quality of my books is going to get a lot better than what my first ones have been. Um, because he started with the American Guard was the first book that I sent to him. He's like, dude, can you go over this? Because I'll admit, I'll be the first one to admit I can't write to say. I know what I want to say. Well, everything I got in here is great, but getting it from here to here is hard, and get it out properly. So it's
Yeah.
hard. So I mean, I have a lot I depend on to get it out. So I like to get on there and do a live every now and then. I haven't done one in a while. I probably need to, but just kind of when I'm working at it, and I'll kind of talk about what I'm typing when I'm typing and how it's coming out, it's sounding. I got this little thing on my hoo-ha here that reads it out to me so I can listen to it and go, I need to change this. This sounds better. That old Marine Corps term, you don't know what something is. It's hoo-ha or Yahoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was funny. Okay.
No, that's fine. Man, there was one night, dude. I was on fire. I was on duty NCO, and oh my God, I let my assistant go to sleep. I was always one of those NCOs that let my helper go to sleep for a couple hours. I was bored as hell. It was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It was Saturday morning. Everybody had been out partying. And this is back in my party day. So I was pissed off because I can't get drunk. So I had like 15 Yoo-Hoo bottles stacked up in the middle of the hallway in the perfect formation. And I'm in that hallway. You doggone Yoo-Hoo, why the hell can't you get things right? Why can't you be like your Yoo-Hoo partner right there? I'm just going nuts. And this is about 3 o'clock in the morning when everybody came back drunker and skunk. And all my boots stick their heads out the door. So what the hell do you want? Do you want to join your Yoo-Hoo friends right here? shit you do to keep yourself occupied during a 24-hour shift. So it's funny.
That's
So if I say
hilarious.
you who or who are, that's just whole military me coming out. But I got that
Oh
yoo-hoo
my
there
gosh.
thingy voice thing where that talks to me, so I can listen to it and go, okay, yeah, that don't sound right, or I kind of like how it sounds, or let me change it up, see how this flows. So that's one of the
Yeah.
techniques I use when I'm writing is that voice thingy bobber that reads it out to
The
you.
thingy bobber.
I
The
don't know.
thingamajig.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called,
I
but
love
it's
it.
fun. So I'll do that. I need to go live sometime again
I
while I'm
love it.
working on this book. I haven't done that in a while, but that's where that show came from.
Yeah.
So that's my non-formal show is the Campfire Chats with Eric Guest at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time on the Bizarre and the Unknown channel. But then I have
Yeah.
my formal one Sunday nights. Now my formal
Okay.
one, I'm more kind of, I'm getting to the point of it, in which I'll be honest with you, I don't always stay on topic. I have some of the best
No.
followers in the world.
Just
Yeah,
kidding.
I have some of the greatest followers in the world. I am truly blessed
Yeah.
by the people who follow me on my channel
You
because
do
they
have a
can
good
bring up
crowd.
something and I'll go, yeah, because I will be like, I
I
kind of
know.
like
That's
where
the
this
same
is
as
going. We'll get
my
off
crowd.
topic.
Yeah, my
it's
chat, my
amazing.
crowd does the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
what I
really
love
adds
about it,
to
man.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, doesn't it? It's
It
amazing.
totally
Just that
does.
feeling you get like, dude, they're involved
Yeah,
in it too. They're hooked in. They're getting it's like, yeah, rock
I
on,
know.
baby. Oh,
I know.
that's what I love, and that's
Yeah.
what it's like inside of me. It's like party on, dude. Excellent. I love it.
Oh my God.
It's great. When you get that
Yeah.
going, it makes things better, dude. It really it makes
It
things so
does.
much better when you get your fans involved or your followers, whatever it is you call them. Man, I call them my folks, my fam.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
we're
we're a
all part of
family over
this.
here.
Yeah. And
We are.
it's great. Now, if I get somebody that's being an a-hole, like on my Tiki Talk, which I haven't been on my Tiki Talk in a while, I probably need to do more on my Tiki Talk, but Tiki Talk is pissing me off at the moment. I may be trying to find another platform.
Okay.
But like I had one get on there one day, goes, "Hey, you need to stop talking about Bigfoot. They ain't real. It's all fake. You need to quit misleading people." I was like, "Who are you to
Uh-oh.
tell somebody what to believe and not to believe?" I said, "I have evidence. Why don't you come over to my show and watch one of
Yeah.
my shows or watch some stuff I recorded and see what you think then. Let me show you what I have found out there. Maybe you have a chance to find, man. I'm not going to tell you to believe. I'm never going to force anybody to believe what they don't want to believe. You don't want to believe it. That's on you, dude. You do you,
Right.
boo. I do me.
That's what we
That's
all
just
should
how
be
it is.
doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta, you do you, I do me. Everybody go to the Bizarre and Unknown on YouTube. I know it's I know we're about to hit a 2 hour mark over here. So I figured
Oh,
let's
I'm
wrap it up. It's Saturday night, right? It's Saturday. So let's
yeah.
I want you to come back and hang out with me again, Eric. Will you come back and come hang out with the Cryptid Hunters channel, please?
Oh, I'd love to. It's a
Yeah,
blast getting on here with you, man. I love how your brain
yeah.
works. Because I'm always
Thank
fascinated. I'm
you.
always like, while I'm talking, I'm always picking. I'm like, okay, what's he got next? I'm
Oh my
always doing
God,
this because
Eric.
I'm learning.
I'm just glad my brain works. Okay. I'm just glad my brain works. Okay. That's all.
Hey, man, if it worked for caffeine, I'm
Yeah.
sure mine would.
Oh my gosh.
So,
No,
hey,
you're a hoot, man.
once again,
Yeah.
no, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. It's been an honor. I've really enjoyed doing this. It was a blessing having you on my channel, dude. I mean, it's
Thank
great, and I
you.
love the fact that we can get together and do stuff like this. And this is what we need to do in this community more often. I'm a big believer in
Yeah.
this. Is get everybody who's got a different way of looking at things, and like I always said, we're sitting in that circle around that object, and we all sit in a different seat and look at it differently. And this is how we figure this out. And I'm a
That's
big
right.
believer, and that's straight up from Native American. That's Native American teaching, folks. So, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm part Native American, I'm part Norwegian. So a lot of that looking at stuff plays in my books, plays in my ways of research and my looks at life. In history, yes, history is not the true history we know, but do your own research. Never take what I say for granted. Take what I say with a grain of salt. Do your own research. Come up with your own opinion, your own theory, your own hypothesis, or build upon mine. This is why I give this to you, is for you to go out and do your own research. That's what it's about.
That's
man.
right. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. And we're just having fun doing it. Okay. You and me both. We're both over here having fun. And just having fun hanging out on a Saturday night. Okay. So
I ain't doing
yeah.
nothing. I'm getting ready to drop a new deal on my YouTube channel on a short story I'm writing. So I'm just working on it. I ain't gonna. This is my life, baby. Sitting here doing stuff on
Yeah.
there. This is my life. I don't go out and party no more. I can't do it. I just, for several reasons, I don't go out and party no more.
I party with Bigfoot.
Rarely do I ever do that.
I know. I party with Bigfoot, Eric.
Yeah, I'm partying with
right.
whatever I can find out there. That's what I party with, man. That's probably the best high you can ever get. The best drunk you can ever get is going out there and experiencing what's right outside that door. You get out, you get away from that concrete, you get in them woods, you get to that water. That's partying, man. That is life. And there's so much out there for you guys to see. It's just right out that door, folks. First step is open that door and stepping out.
Oh my God, I love that. Yes, it is. Eric, you're the best, man. I've had a blast with you. So thank you. I know. Well, you're awesome. So thank you. Yeah. Thank you for being here, man. Okay. Well, I hope everybody in the audience enjoyed this tonight. I hope you guys learned something. I always learn something. Okay. Every show, especially now that Eric's coming on and I'm learning from him. And you guys, please, I would say come see me tomorrow night, but I'm actually in Reno, Nevada. Okay. And I'm not going to be on Space Out Radio tomorrow night. I will be in Reno. Okay. Partying with Bigfoot, probably. Okay. But otherwise, I'll be back this week. Partying with Bigfoot on the dance floor in Reno. Right, I know, but I'll be back on Wednesday with my show, A Glitch in the Matrix. So you guys come back here on the channel and come hang out, okay? And go see Eric on the Bizarre and the Unknown on YouTube and on Nighthawk High Strangeness podcast. Actually, that's in the morning, right? Sunday morning too. Saturday, Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday mornings. I'm on with William. Yeah, I'm on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Okay. Yeah, I'm on Saturday and Sunday mornings on go to YouTube to William Nighthawk 6630, and it's his weekend morning brew show. I'm on with him. Sometimes I come on Friday nights with him if he needs me to come on, but usually it's Saturday and Sunday mornings on the Sunday morning brew show where we sit there and drink coffee and talk about whatever comes to mind. You just talk about whatever comes up. I mean, we got good subjects though. We talk about, and it's like I said, it's everywhere. It's not one set deal.
Oh my God, I'll be there. Yeah. I love it. I love it so much. All right. Well, Eric, thank you again for being here. Thank you to everybody in the audience for being here tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and y'all come back and see me next week and go see Eric and William tomorrow morning. Okay. And this has been a hoot. I enjoyed it. All right, Eric, have a great night. We'll see you guys. We'll see y'all next time. Bye, y'all. Stay safe out there.
Bye.